What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 394th episode.
No, I'm pretty sure we're past that.
No, yeah, we're past that one.
95th episode of the Pokemon podcast. Counting out the days yesterday to our 400th episode. And only a day later, I forgot. I'm your host, SBJ. With me, Greg.
Hello, it's snowing. So I'm hoping that by the time we're done recording, it will not be snowing and I can go get food because I'm hungry.
And Will also here.
And it's also snowing on my end of the city, but I had 3 breakfast burritos already.
You have a grocery store real close.
I mean, I'd keep breakfast burritos in the freezer where they belong. And then it's like, when I'm hungry, I'd take one out, heat it up 90 seconds, let it sit on the plate for 2 minutes, good to go.
I would never do that. I'd be like, I have the world's largest fridge and freezer.
Outside your front door?
Outside my front door. I will let them deal with this. I'm going to make different choices.
Obviously.
Well, obviously, but I don't, do I?
Speaking of choices, you have a choice to continue listening to the Disaster of the Show. We have a bunch of Pokemon Day 2020 stuff to talk about. I'm sad to report, as it turns out, Pokemon HOME is still not here yet.
They lied to me. The Pikachu lied.
The internet told me that the one screenshot that had the February 7th date was the date it was coming out. They updated the wild area. Let's start there.
Okay.
We'll start with the Pokemon news. This is off Pokemon.com, February 7th. Face Gigantamax Toxtricity in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield Max Raid Battles. A new Gigantamax Pokemon has been discovered, and you will be able to encounter in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield Max Raid Battles. The electric poison type Gigantamax Toxtricity will be appearing in dens from February 6th to March 8th. The electric type moves used by Toxtricity will change to GMAX Stun Shock, which not only deals damage but also poisons or paralyzes all opponents. You all may also know that there are 2 forms of Toxtricity: amped form Toxtricity and low-key form Toxtricity. When you are facing off against GMAX Toxtricity, you will encounter amped form in Pokemon Sword and low-key form in Pokemon Shield. If you challenge a Gigantamax Toxtricity in the form, you cannot... If you want to challenge GMAX Toxtricity in the form you can't encounter, try joining a Max Raid battle hosted by some other version.
I wish they told you. I have so many low-key forms, and I keep jumping into other people's, and it was like, oh, everybody's playing Sword. I keep running into amped form, and I've caught 0 amped form.
I caught one last night, but I think it was an amped form.
Yeah. I mean, they really. I think we talked about this before the game came out. They really taking advantage of both games here.
I mean, as they should. Give us some value for having 2 different games.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's nice that you don't need to have both games. You just need to either jump into somebody's raid and or find a friend who doesn't have the same copy as you. We talked about Milcery being promoted, right?
Yep, we talked last week about how the Star and the, is my memory
Ribbon.
Good? Ribbon Suites are now available, which they weren't previously.
Yes. I caught 59 of them. I was going to say 60, but I was using Silvally to battle them, which is taking up one box spot. I caught 59 of them. Too many. I never want to catch another one again.
I have a lot. I don't know that I have all the forms, but I don't want all the forms because I think some of the forms don't look good.
It's all or nothing, Greg.
Nope, it is in the middle or nothing.
You have to get them all shiny.
I haven't seen a shiny one.
Yeah, but you have to catch them as shiny. Catching 50 of them doesn't suddenly turn one into shiny.
Well, not with that attitude.
So do you guys want to talk about how Toxtricity is actually the Pokemon on the side of the hill?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
well,
know it's the Pokemon at the lighthouse.
It is the
What?
Pokemon of the Lighthouse, yeah. Because the Lighthouse has 2 statues of Toxtricity.
Oh, yeah.
But when you first arrive into Milos Town, I can't remember what it's called. Probably
Wedgehurst?
No, Wedgehurst is the first town with the train station.
Yeah. Hulbury is where Nessa is. Hammerlock is obviously in the middle. Winden? No.
No, Winden's Final City. Modestook, also city in middle. Anyways, the city with the Pumpkaboos and the rocks and the Wooloos and the Milo.
And the Stonehenges and the Sojourner cardboard cutout, you know.
When you see the giant hill, and that's kind of when you start hearing about the Darkest Day for the first time, you see a Pokemon, and that Pokemon is specifically GMAX Toxtricity.
It's got its tail.
Yeah, it has the tail
Is
and
that
the
a
eye.
tail, or is that like a what is that? That was so confusing to me.
It's Turffield.
Turffield.
Yeah, it's its tail guitar.
Yeah, you can. So specifically,
Okay, you don't play
there are
guitar
3
with
things
your
that stand
tail.
out.
Yeah,
Well,
you do.
Toxtricity plays notes with his chest.
Yeah.
So the eye is exactly the same. The spikes down the back, and then the tail are the 3 giveaways. I don't know what the little things around Toxtricity's feet are on the hill.
The people getting wrecked?
I think it's supposed to be just the people.
Yeah, it's
somebody was
humans
like,
getting
"Oh,
wrecked."
it's Meltan." I was like, "No, Meltan has 1 eye, not 2 eyes." So I don't think specifically it's Meltan, but like all Pokemon games, they do a really bad job at fleshing out a full story, and I'm sure the anime will answer these questions.
Probably.
Because let me tell you, Ultra Sun, all games have this, but Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, really bad at telling you all of Ultra Necrozma's desires and issues, and the anime does a pretty okay job summing that up. And you're like, boy.
I mean, you have to leave something for the anime.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Oh boy, Sword and Shield has left a lot for the anime now, haven't they? Boy,
Yeah,
oh
well-
boy.
The entire ending, yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Hey, Will, you beat Sword and Shield.
I mean, I haven't finished the post game, but up to the credits, yes, I have. I defeated the undefeatable champion.
Story aside, what did you think of that fight?
The battle with Leon?
Yeah.
It was tough. It was a pretty good battle. I mean, I still beat him in 1 try, but
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of went in knowing that the thing I was really going to have to contend with was a big old Charizard, so I had a plan for that.
It's not like they telegraphed the Charizard
Yeah.
the entire game.
So the other dudes were a little bit of fluff that I had to work my way through. I think, what was the one that gave me the most difficulty?
Well, he opens with Aegislash, and then he has a Haxorus. And he might, depending on the version you have, he might have Seismitoad.
Oh, you know what? Haxorus was tough for me because it used Iron Tail on my Rabombi, and I was just like, wasn't expecting that, and I thought Rabombi was going to one-shot it, and it didn't. So
The music's really good. I think that whole fight is one of the most memorable fights in all of Pokemon.
I mean, I don't think I'll remember it. Except for, okay, here's what I really like about stadium battles. And honestly, if I could have a lot more stadium battles in this game, I would be thrilled. Like, if there was some way I could just like keep doing stadium battles.
I believe they call that the competitive.
Well, sure. That when you faint your opponent's Pokemon, the ball guy image in the background does a little faint
Yeah.
graphic, and then when they Gigantamax, the ball guy image in the background like gets all big. I thought that was fantastic. I love that.
Ball guy, best guy.
He could be either male or female. That's what his league card said.
That's true. That's very true. Don't know who ball guy is under that suit. Did you have any thoughts about the fight with Oleana?
Just it was funny that like that she has all these like beauty Pokemon and then Garbodor at the end, because I guess she just wanted to win.
Well, I don't know if you I'll wait till you get to her other league card. There's a reason she has the Garbodor.
Wait, Oleana has a league card? Why would she have a league card? She's
Everybody
not in the league.
has a league card. You have a league card.
It might not be her league card. It might be Chairman Rose's second league card, which she writes Chairman Rose's league card, which might have like story about her in it. For anyone who doesn't want the spoiler, if you beat the game, go to the Galar Mines 1 after you beat Leon, and you will find Oleana and another league card there.
I'm just chasing after some weirdos is what I'm doing right now.
Oh, what about...
They're the best.
So many questions to ask you, Will, now that you've been in the game. How did you feel about the Eternatus fight?
I don't understand. Okay, first Leon says, I got this dude all tired out. Throws a Pokeball, doesn't capture in the Pokeball. So since when did a Pokemon escaping from a Pokeball become so violent that the Charizard had to spin around and protect me and my buddy from the explosive action of... Okay, so that was number one.
Charizard, real hero of the game.
Then
he saves the Wooloo. He saves you.
It saves Hop.
That's just because Leon did not understand what he was doing. Just thought it was a simple, easy fight and completely misjudged the situation.
Well,
yeah.
He deserved to be blown back and blown off that.
Still, I have never failed to catch a Pokemon in a Pokeball and then been gruesomely mutilated by the explosive power of the Pokemon popping back out of the Pokeball. That's
not yet.
That's not how the Pokeballs are designed. So then number two.
You don't know that. You've never thrown 200 Pokeballs at a Moltres on the top of the Sevi Island. You don't know how many of those were shattered in your face.
I have thrown quite a few Pokeballs in my life. Thank you. So then I fight Eternatus, and I defeat it, except it's not defeated. I mean, I knocked it out.
It's the same as Necrozma. It's literally the same fight. You fight you fight Necrozma, who took over Sogalia or Lunala, and then you gotta chase it through a wormhole and fight it again. This time it's big and yellow.
No, but that's run away. This one was just like, it was on the ground. It's like, I got you, bud. But then it turns into some weird spinning snake hand?
Yeah,
what was that thing?
That's the best part of that whole fight.
The Gigantamax version of it.
But it can't Dynamax, so...
Not yet.
Yeah, it can. Chairman Rose has been feeding it candies for like 20,000 years.
I thought that Eternatus couldn't Dynamax.
It can't once you caught it.
It Gigantamaxes.
Well, okay, whatever. What is it supposed to represent?
The darkest day.
But no, outside of that, it's like a Hydra. Okay. So it's you're there. It's got the spinnies and it's got this weird hand thing, which is like, why don't you just grab me and crush me? Because that would save us all a whole lot of time, Mr. Weird Dragon Head hand thing.
It doesn't crush you because the wolves show up.
Well, they got knocked out pretty early in that battle, so a lot of good they were.
There's a lot of howling in that battle too.
Yeah, that's very true. Oh yeah, Eternatus took those dudes out.
Really?
Yeah.
They were in the fight my entire time.
Especially Zacian went real quick, so some superhero you were, buddy. During that battle, you see flashes of like images from all around Galar.
Yeah.
Because why? What was that from?
They don't explain a lot. I mean, they sort of explain
it's a Pokemon game. What
do you I mean, the little that they do try to explain, which you sort of have to really work hard to piece together, is it's showing you the places that it was connected to or still is connected to, because those are the places that are hot spots for Dynamaxing. So you're supposed to be seeing those spots in those areas. Why they're showing up, no clue. Doesn't bother to explain it to you. Why it is bothering to show you that, no clue. Doesn't bother to explain it to you. It's just that, hey, because of its impact after the darkest day, all these places could Dynamax because of reasons. It was the reason that those places got infected, powered up. Don't explain.
Well, it's like all the wishing stars, which are pieces of Eternatus or something. But the other, there's just so many questions. This is it. The main thing is I have never, and this is a thing I frequently go back to, but never so much as at the end of this game have I thought to myself, it must make sense in Japanese. And they just couldn't translate it into English.
I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah, like this, X and Y has a significantly worse story.
X and Y has a worse story, but X and Y's story is laid out in a way that makes sense.
And it's thorough.
No, it's not thorough. It is the most shallow
fully
story
explained.
ever.
You know exactly why they're doing what they're doing, and whether what they're doing makes sense or should be done, no. But you know, it's like they want to accomplish this, so these are the steps that they are taking to accomplish it. Literally in this game, it's and I know that you feel it's like, oh, the adults were keeping it from the children and blah blah blah, but still, it's like if I was reading a novel and I got to the last 5 pages of the novel, it's like, here's the real story that you weren't reading about because we were keeping it from you. I want my money back, friend. But Chairman Rose was this dude hanging out in booty shorts at the seafood restaurant, and then all of a sudden he's very impatient about bringing about the end of the world. What?
That's your complaint? That's like a standard trope, though, of like...
But no, there's no explanation behind it. Like if they even had said, we've been using Eternatus as the power source for Galar, and if we don't let him go, he's going to run out of steam, and we've got to rejuvenate, but they never even said that much.
He does say that. He does say that. He does say the first time you get to Hammerlock, that they have an energy problem, and they need to solve it soon. And the energy problem is Eternatus. But although he does say that.
One would argue that soon, meaning we're going to run out of power in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a wild way to say soon. Like, the thing that's lacking is his motivation to do it now.
Yeah.
Like, his pushing for Leon
very,
to do
like,
it now
unstructured, I mean, you can project a lot onto it, but that's all projection. It's not coming from the actual narrative of the tale. It's so unsatisfying. Like, even if they had said, if Chairman Rose had said, I provoked this to happen because I want Leon to capture Eternatus, so that we can, rethink the energy structure of Galar. Just say that one phrase, but never is that said. We're just assuming that he provoked this to happen, and maybe it had to happen before the championship battle because he knew Leon was going to lose, and then he was like, I don't want you to have Eternatus.
Yeah, but Leon would have been easier to manipulate after he lost and was feeling bad about himself.
Well, except that he wouldn't run to save Galar because he's not the champion anymore. So he's like, that's not my champion duty, dude. You're the winner. Go. Good luck, bud. I mean,
there's a lot about what Chairman Rose thinks and why his time frame is the time frame that they just don't say. Like, I absolutely agree that Chairman Rose's entire reason for doing what he does is left just...
It's just way too speculative.
It's just like, well, why? Like
we know Lysander is a nut job who either wants to kill all people or kill all Pokemon, depending on which game you're playing. And the way that he's going to do it is to reignite the 3,000-year-old weapon, right? We know that because they make that very clear in the game.
And he says that.
And that's like start and stop the entire thing that Lysander provides. That dude has still zero depth.
Getting more than I got from Sword and Shield.
I don't know. I would I'm not going to say that the ending I think the ending is fine in Sword and Shield. I think I've already voiced all those complaints about how they could have said one or two things to clear up Chairman Rose, but Chairman Rose is more interesting from start to finish as a character, and I would rather be left with more questions and wanting to see more, which I'm sure the expansion will do on that, than to be like, I know nothing about Lysander, and I have no questions about Lysander. He's just a rich dude that wears a red suit that wants to blow up the world. Like he's such a boring character.
We didn't know nothing about Lysander. We knew a lot about him the entire game. Like, constantly.
Yes, because you never read any of the text bubbles that you
We knew
I read
exactly
every
who he
text
was
bubble.
and why he was. Like, they explain Lysander's character. You can decide that it's boring, because it is a terrible trope. But Rose is also a terrible trope that they don't bother explaining. I mean, Rose is only more interesting because of Oleana.
And you know what? What also kind of also puts emphasis on this is I have gotten more out of the two weirdos and their motivation than I got about any of Rose's motivation throughout the entire game.
That is also true.
And the minimum cutscene, it's like, and it's like you were saying, like, why did they put up the mural in front of the carving that's in the mountainside, right? That got destroyed by the Kavaraja or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they make that very clear.
Yeah.
It's like their family put that up to hide what actually happened.
Right.
Right. And it's like, oh, but I know all this just from a few lines of dialogue that they put. Why couldn't they have done the same in like taking us to a seafood restaurant and having us sit there and having us see? It's just like, I just feel like they cut something out and they didn't need to.
I don't.
And you know what also this really, really underscores is I found that the arcs in the story about like Sonia and Bede and Marnie and Pierce and like all the different human relationships that weren't the grand opera part of the story to be so much more interesting and fun to be part of.
No, they
Bede's
are.
story is the best story.
And it's like, you know what? Take this as your lesson learned, Pokemon. Make the next game just a slice of life anime. Right? We don't need any grand disaster. Just make it like,
boy,
this
if
is
only
us
I was
going
saying
through our
that
day to day.
for almost 10 years.
I mean, I disagree, but
because I don't need a game where I'm saving the world. I don't need that in that's.
Well,
like
I mean, just try it. Just try it. You're always willing to try new stuff. Try the new stuff for. I mean, this was really their opportunity to do it because the whole structure of the gym challenge, it's so nice and refreshing, and it's just would integrate so well. Of like, here's the 4, 5, 6 of us on our journey, and it's like, how do our different human relationships impact how we do on the journey and learn and grow over time. It's like so that part of it is so good, and it's so just like left on the side.
I mean, this was the game where they didn't actually have they still have like a bad team, but there's no like bad team moment, I guess.
there kind of
there's
is
the Oleana,
in the elevator.
there's like the Oleana movement, but like that has
the
nothing.
lift key.
When they basically say, hey, all these corporations are working against you. Take that, corporate sponsors.
So that's it. I'll continue playing. I'll play Shield eventually.
Well, post expansion pass so you can have your perfect team.
I don't know if I can wait that long.
It's only June.
I know, but it's like, well, I'm going to have Animal Crossing tide me over. Just wait for my critiques of Animal Crossing and how crummy that story is.
There's a story in Animal Crossing?
Sure there is.
Definitely no story. I mean, I guess the basic story of the real story that is life.
Yeah,
look,
that's like the most boring.
Yeah, it's the story of life called a mortgage and a raccoon that's not going to let you be until you pay off that mortgage.
I don't want to pull weeds IRL, but I'll pull weeds in Animal Crossing.
I don't think I can bring myself to play that game.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Did you not play the other
Greg?
ones?
Yeah, I played the other ones.
So what's the issue?
It's the issue that I have with all of them, is that I play them for about a week, and then I really begin to resent the game for making me, like, I can't take a break. I have to be there every day. Like the things that I want.
Greg, life doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But I can take breaks from life. I can take breaks
See,
and things
Greg,
don't fall apart.
Here's the secret. You find people who are super Animal Crossing fanatics and they exist out there. And then you're like, hey, dude, I'm going to leave my train station open all day. So could you just come over and pick all my weeds for me and lay down some paths and pretty up the place, maybe replant some of these trees in the right areas so we have groves. And these people will be like, well, I already did all that in my town, so yeah, I'll just come over to your town and do it.
No, they're going to mess it up. They're going to mess it up.
No, you got to. I'm not going to name names, but there's a certain person who lives in Canada, near Ottawa, that I'm sure is enough of a fanatic because they literally reset their own town so that they can keep doing this stuff over and over again. I'm sure they're going to be real happy to just have access to other people's towns.
Yeah, but then I have to like plot out, like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I want my town to look like. Put the things here.
Oh, well, no,
Like-
you got to give up some control.
No,
And just enjoy the experience.
no. Well, then why am I playing the game?
So that when Pave shows up, you can do his little Pave riddles.
Then why am I playing the game?
The worst part about it is I'm going to be peer pressured into playing Animal Crossing like I was peer pressured into playing Magic.
And you love playing Magic now.
I love parts of playing Magic.
I will say the last Animal Crossing, there was a, like, I do agree with Greg. There was, like, a social, because when Wild World came out, there was no Twitter at the time. Or maybe there wasn't. And then I bought and played the Wii one, but I didn't love it. So I only played it for, like, 2 days.
I played the Wii one the most.
And then
I had everything in that game.
New Leaf came out, I felt like this social pressure of like everyone playing a lot, and I wasn't being able to keep I wasn't keeping up fast enough. And then like people would be like, "Oh, I got the lighthouse, or I got the police station, or I got the cafe," and it's like I don't have those, but they're all RNG. You can only do so much to like hopefully get those public work projects to appear. So it's like I'm so far behind. That person has a cafe. That person has like four fossils completely done, and I keep getting this Triceratops booty.
Well, and then my favorite animals leave.
Not if you treat them right.
Even
Not
if you
give
treat
them
them
what
right.
they want.
I have spent a ton of time on very specific creatures, giving them everything they want, doing everything, and they're like, I'm thinking of leaving, and then I'll say like, no, please don't, and they're like, oh, you're too attached to me. Me leaving would be good for you.
Well, there's your lesson.
It's like real
There's your
life.
lesson. Yeah. I will say that for
then
this.
I'm closing my town because my last town literally has what the final message I left for my town was, this is now yours. Don't mess it up. I'm going to go play a fun game. It's called Pokemon, and then it's permanently tacked to the bulletin board of my last town.
Maybe your animals have shared the same personality traits with Chairman Rose, where they do have a good reason, but they just need to leave right now.
I'm not going to explain it. I just really need to go.
I just have to leave, Greg. This is for the best.
And then the ones that come back are awful. The ones that move in are like the worst.
It's always
like
a cycle.
Some crabby bunny who's just like ruining my good works.
Well,
Get
then
out.
you have to work to change its attitude by being friendly to it and giving it nice things.
Look,
but
that
I
has
will say,
never
I
worked
agree
on
with
you.
Steve.
How is that going to work in Animal Crossing?
I'm a very
All right, so in
complex
the Animal
person.
Crossing town, we set up a giant flower cannon. We face it towards the sky.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yes. And if all of you leave, I'm setting it off.
I will say when I start this new Animal Crossing, I will do it on my own without anybody else around, because I think that was a huge mistake starting the last one, because there was just too much conflict over who gets what face and what town layout was the good
What?
layout versus the you weren't there, bud.
I don't think I was
And,
here either.
You were, and it was even worse because I had to
Who
double
gets
buy.
what face?
Oh, don't! There's a quiz, and then you show out. You get a different face, different.
I don't think
eyes,
there's a quiz in the new one. I think you just design your character's face.
That's fine. I still don't want to be around anybody who's going to say, "Well, I wanted that face."
Who's saying that? Who's being like, "I want the face you have"?
And
you can just retake the quiz.
Probably not discuss it on social media, and just play the game on my own, and ask my expert friends for advice when I need advice. But yeah, that whole other people are getting things before you get things, it's it is so strangely disincentivizing to actually play the game. And it's I know that there are things that I greatly value in Animal Crossing, like getting all the songs, and it's when you find out, well, somebody else already got all the songs and you missed 1 week because you're out camping in the northern woods, and now you have to wait a whole year until that song comes back around.
Yeah, this is why that game makes me mad.
But pave furniture, just to have a room full of pave furniture is worth the effort and the struggle.
We need to make real pave furniture in the real world, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, no, too ugly to have in my actual house. Only good for virtual homes.
I don't know what pave furniture is. We're gonna take a break though.
That's what I was about to tell you.
I'm a modern furniture kind of guy.
Clean lines. Where are my surfaces?
That's right. All right, we'll be right back. And they have also shown a new Pokemon called, I don't know how to pronounce this, so you guys can correct me. Nagadandalay?
Isn't it just Noggindale? I can dance.
9 to 5 toys.
Working 9 to 5.
So what are the toys doing after 5 p.m.?
Look, I didn't name...
That's their time.
I didn't name the website. I've seen Toy Story, though, so I would imagine the toys get up, they walk around, they hang out. This is from James in our Addict channel. Funko Pop unveils 4, count 'em, 4 new Pokemon figures. Are you excited, Will? Are you going to
I'm ready for the next news article.
Pop your house? Do you know these 4 figures, or is this breaking news for you?
It's breaking news for me, but because I just completely do not understand the point of Funko Pops, right? I understand action figures and Transformers, which I used to love to have when I was younger because
they're robots in disguise.
Yes, and I could set them up, and I'm like, oh, we're having a battle, or I could transform them, and it's you're an airplane now, or you're a cassette recorder. Funko Pops just sit there and stare at you. Mm-hmm. You don't get to play with them.
I mean, they're like plushes. They also just sit there. And they don't transform, I'll tell you that.
You notice I also don't have a lot of stuffed animals. But also stuffed animals you can hug, or you can put on your well-made bed and amongst the pillows as decoration. But just a Funko. And the other thing that's horrible about Funko Pops is it's if you take them out of the box, you've done it wrong.
Yes.
And I'm who wants that?
You haven't done it wrong.
They're okay.
Just that depending on their level of design, once you take them out of the box, they may not be able to stand.
That's true.
but no, it's just I don't understand. It's if I want sculpture, I'll go to Greece, right? I'm not buying Mr. Funko's carvings.
I mean, I have some Funkos. I have my Jawa.
So I have a couple Funkos. So I have Pokemon Funkos that I've purchased myself because they're Pokemon. A lot of the non-Pokemon Funkos I have were given as gifts, which I would argue a lot of Funkos are probably the good gift, right?
Not in this house.
Brother or sister needs to get other brother or sister gift, and we're both 30 years old, and we don't know what to get each other, but I know my brother really likes Star Wars. Here's the Han Solo pop figure that I just saw at Target. I know you like Star Wars. Hope you don't have this one. You probably don't, because there's probably 40 different Han Solo pops, I'm assuming.
Life hack.
There's
Your 30-year-old
not.
brother just wanted cash.
Probably.
True. True.
I will.
After 30, pretty much people just want cash.
You have to give Funko credit in making probably a product with little to no, with high profit.
Utility?
Little to no utility, high profit, but they sell it at such a good price that it's hitting that impulse zone for a lot of people.
What do these things go for?
They're usually like $11. Usually $10.99 to like $12.99. So they're like cheap
that
enough.
That is an impulse price level. You are correct.
They're cheap enough to be like, oh man, I love the Golden Girls, and they have my favorite one, Hillary. I'm gonna buy that.
Hillary?
Hillary's not a Golden Girl.
Excuse me? I mean, we're not allowed to talk about this, but I will say that we do have all 4 Golden Girls, Funko Pops, and Hillary is not one of them. So we're going to move on.
I know Betty White is a Golden Girl, but I don't know if her name is actually Betty White in the show.
It is not.
It is not.
Oh, it is not. Okay.
Pick a different series. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I want the Hagrid pop figure.
Thank you.
No one says Hagrid's their favorite pop figure.
Somebody does. If somebody likes Spinda, somebody likes Hagrid.
Yeah, maybe. So I have all the Day with Pikachu Funko Pops, which are made by Funko, but they're not pop figures. They're the ones with like Pikachu being scared by the Diglett or Pikachu having a snowman. They're like actually toys.
Having a snowman for lunch.
Isn't Funko just a front for GameStop?
No, I don't think
No.
GameStop owns Funko. I think if anything, Funko probably has more money than GameStop.
Probably some secret Chairman Rose cabal going on.
I mean, they're Funko Holdings LLC, but that doesn't anything.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm sure Disney will eventually buy them or something of the sort. Okay, so the 4 new Funkos are Vulpix, regular Cantonian Vulpix, Mr. Mime, Pichu, and Mewtwo.
The Mewtwo and the Mr. Mime look okay.
I really like all 4 of these, actually. I think the Pichu looks really great, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes these figures benefit from these eyes. Sometimes they definitely don't. I think the best-looking Pokemon prior to these 4 was the Bulbasaur. I think the Bulbasaur looked really good. Charmander did not look great, though. I've been told... I know a couple very... in very thorough Funko Pop collectors. They would probably, I would imagine, they're on the Funko forums. They're hitting up the Funko Reddit. They probably have a
forum.
Yes, 100%. I've never checked it, but I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, there's a Reddit for everything.
I'm sure they have a secret Funko Twitter where they do swap trades, mystery gifting each other Funkos. They told me though that in the SKUs of unreleased Funkos, there's a Mewtwo GD Funko listed, which is glow-in-the-dark Mewtwo.
I am now on Funko Pop Reddit just to say how my day is going.
Yeah, it's also still snowing, so that's telling you a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much news here besides they're making more Funko. I mean, out of all 890 Pokemon, they're doing Mr. Mime, so it's actually pretty incredible how one movie turned Mr. Mime into this marketing machine that clearly people want Mr. Mime now, I guess. I mean, it's not surprising.
Morton Salt Girl Funko Pop?
I don't know what that means. Oh, what is this? Oh, it is like the Salt Girl from like the Salt.
Yes, from the Salt.
Like the Salt.
From the Salt. From Morton Salt.
Not to be confused with Reddit, but from the salt you buy and put on food.
Yo,
who's buying this?
Well, apparently, it's this person's favorite that I found on Reddit.
What?
Battle Lemons loves Morton Salt Girl, according to Reddit, and it's their new instant favorite. And I'm just I'm just blown away. And the fact that people are complaining that they can't find one anywhere in their town, I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Greg, we need to stop right now. We are 2 steps away from us trying to find Morton Salt Girl in our towns.
We are
you think
one
they'll have
step
it at my
away
Target?
because I'm already looking.
And then as soon as we buy Morton Salt Girl, we're going to be like, no one has this. We have a rare Funko Pop. Now we need other rare Funko Pops.
Well, it's on pre-order in Amazon, and Amazon says it won't be released until March 13th, 2020. So somebody has insider trading.
Maybe.
Oh, we're cracking the Funko world wide open.
Okay, we need to move on. I had more to say about Funko, but we're moving on. We're moving
they
on.
made a Frankenberry?
We're moving on, Greg. We can't. Don't tell me any more Funkos.
This is how it starts. This is how they get sucked in, and all of a sudden you've got a wall full of Funko Pops, and just opposite your wall full of what are those little Nintendo dollies that you put on your Amiibos?
Oh, just no. Just take a look at what I just sent you, and then we'll move on because I can't.
What is that?
The fact that there's an icy polar bear Funko is blowing my mind.
Battle in the 2020 International Challenge in February. This is another Pokemon Day thing. It will start. Oh gosh, I'm going to be at PAX over this weekend.
Get
Well,
wrecked.
if you have the right plane dates.
I double checked.
Greg double checked for me. I also learned that this is a airplane cast here. I have learned from booking the wrong dates, which I have. Okay, I am sure somebody listening to this podcast has also booked wrong flights. I'm sure more. I'm so confident that I could probably guess that 2 people have booked wrong flights. I'm not the only person in the world that has ever picked the wrong month, but the right days.
Wrong month. Yes. Yes.
But I've learned that even if you booked non-refundable tickets, that you have 24 hours to still cancel.
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely.
And that was a huge thing to me, because even if I was like, oh man, no one's awake at 4 a.m. to double check these dates or prices, I could book it, wake up at like 2 p.m. the next day and be like, oh, I still have 12 more hours before I need to verify that these are in fact the right dates. So, pro tip, if you book flight tickets, you have 24 hours to cancel no matter what.
Can I give a super life hack that's going to save people money? All right, so let's say you book a hotel and they basically say you have up until 24 hours to cancel this reservation, otherwise we're going to charge you for the reservation, right? You've done that with a hotel before, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets to be within 24 hours and you find out like you're not going to take that trip because your flight got canceled or something like that,
Or you
right?
booked the wrong
Disaster.
flight.
You're going to lose money, right? This is what you do. This is the Will Anderson method. You call the hotel and you say, I have a reservation for tomorrow, but my plans got changed and I need to move the reservation a week. And they're like, oh, well, fine. We'll move your reservation, no extra charge. Just like, because you're not canceling, you're moving your reservation. And then after they've confirmed the reservation has been moved a week, be polite, hang up, call back into customer service and say, well, my reservation's a week from now, so I need to cancel it. And then they don't charge you.
Dang, that's way better than my tip.
That is dirty pools. What that is.
That is the cleanest pool.
That is dirty pool. You are relying on people in customer service not reading the notes.
I mean, if they took notes.
Yeah. Dang,
This is my job. This is why I yell at my reps. Take notes.
some would argue that's like 5D chess right there.
Wow, that's my one 5D chess play I've ever made in my life.
That's
What's
Galaxy
the
Brain.
fifth dimension?
The fifth dimension is saving money, Greg.
Time, space, saving money. Got it.
Challenge trainers around the world in the 2020 International Challenge in February. This is the first international challenge using Sword and Shield. Top competitors can earn championship points towards an invitation to Pokemon World Championships. Before you begin, you have to link your Nintendo account to your Pokemon Trainer Club account to ensure that champion points are awarded correctly. This is the first time I'm pretty sure they're giving actual points in an online competition. Am I wrong?
No, I think they've done that before.
Oh, because the GTS could, right? Because the GTS not the GTS, the PGL, the Global Link was already connected to your Trainer Club account.
Your trainer ID, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was like, I feel like they've given points before, but also I don't remember them asking me to connect an account. But now this makes sense. Got it. You can sign up anytime between February 19th to February 27th. And to make this very clear, because this happens every single tournament where people go, oh, there's a tournament? How do I sign up? No, it already started. You can't sign up. As soon as it opens, as soon as you remember, if you're listening to this podcast or if somebody says anything in Slack or on Twitter, it costs nothing to sign up. You just go to the verses, you go to competitions, you go to sign up. You do not, I think a lot of people don't sign up because they think they need a team ready. You don't need a team ready. You just enroll into the competition and then you can't even submit your team yet. Once the competition opens up on February 27th, then it will ask you for your team. So,
but you can't sign up yet, right? Sign up doesn't start until the 19th.
It doesn't start until the 19th, but
not when you're listening to this.
Not when you're listening. Well, unless you're listening to this 10 days from now.
Or if it's 2021, you missed it.
Correct. But keep that in mind. Just whenever these competitions open, just sign up. It's not going to force you to do anything. It's not going to lock Pokemon. It's not going to ask for Pokemon. It's just because once it starts, you can't sign up. Once you're out, you're locked out. And you want to sign up for this. You want to sign up for this because all you have to do is one match, win or lose. You could bring in a Squovit, a Rookidee, and a Pikachu, and as long as you do one match, you will get an in-game trainer clothing casual tee featuring the Pokeball guy. So you get a shirt in the game.
Somebody out there, set your alarm to remind me to do this because I need that tee. I love Pokeball guy. When I was at PAX South, I don't think I mentioned this, there was somebody cosplaying as Pokeball guy, and it was amazing.
That is actually pretty cool.
And they didn't even walk around PAX South. They just stood against the wall.
They just stood against the wall?
Yep.
Did you approach? Did they give you a Pokeball?
I was too scared to approach.
Classic.
William Anderson!
Okay, Wednesday, February 19th until Thursday, February 27th. You launch your game, you go to the verse menu, you select Battle Stadium, you select online competitions, and then you select search for online competition to register. You can top competitors can earn up to 50 championship points, but you have to link your Nintendo account to your My Trainer account in order to do so. It is double battle format, 4 to 6 Pokemon. All Pokemon will be level 50 in battle. You will have 4 Pokemon. Eligible Pokemon are Pokemon in the Galar Dex 1 through 397, which is no Zacian, no Zamazenta, no Eternatus. There are select Gigantamax Pokemon you can use, pretty much the Gigantamax Pokemon that are legal outside of this competition, which is Charizard, Butterfree, Pikachu, Meowth, Eevee, Snorlax, Corviknight, Dreadnought, Sandaconda, and Centiskorch. Only Pokemon that are caught or hatched from eggs or received as mystery gifts in Sword and Shield are eligible. And you are allowed 15 battles a day, 45 battles total. I believe they do roll over. So if you miss the first 2 days, you could do 45 battles on the last day. But you're limited to 45 battles, I believe, because it's 3 days. Speaking of the battle format, they didn't allow any Gigantamax Pokemon in Season 1. And then in Season 2, they allowed the ones I just listed here. And I know Greg and I had an argument about how that was too fast in allowing new Pokemon to be used. Season 3, Season 3 started. They did not allow any new Pokemon. So they're, I guess, taking another month So instead of adding more Gigantamax Pokemon, they didn't add any. Which was my argument back then, Greg, was just because they're adding expansion Pokemon doesn't mean they're going to be legal for competition right away. I don't know what was promoted last time? Oh, Flapple
Snorlax.
and Alcremie and...
Oh, yeah. Colossal and Lapras.
I would imagine that those will probably be ready for Season 4, which would be, March 1st, I think?
Sure. I don't know.
Or not. I don't know. I don't know if they... I don't know what their plan is competitive-wise, but I do like these seasons. I do like the season stuff. I do like, the thing resets every month, which, a lot of games do. A lot of games, your stats reset every month, and you climb the ladder, and you do the things, and it is what it is. More Pokemon Day 2020. You can vote for the most popular Pokemon in each region.
And you can do it every day.
You can do it every day.
I have been.
I haven't been, but I'm not registered to vote, so I need to get on that. I think the deadline's February 11th.
To participate, search for Pokemon Vote on Google. But this is a really weird way to do it, but okay.
It's not great, but yes.
They're using Google's logo here in the press release, so I'm assuming there's some sort of partnership. The vote screen will be displayed on your search results. Select the category you want to vote from the 8 choices. Select one Pokemon from the list sorted by National Dex number, and click the vote button. When you're signed into the Google account, you can cast one vote per category for a maximum 8 votes daily. You can vote once in each category, but you can vote each day during you vote each day during the voting period. Votes will be counted based on the Pokemon's national dex, even if the Pokemon has multiple forms, including regional forms. So, for example, if you wanted to vote for Galarian Ponyta, you just have to vote for Ponyta. Same for Vulpix. Can we talk about the controversy around this?
Absolutely.
What's the controversy?
Meltan is listed in the Galar list and not the Alola list.
And it's listed as extra.
Yeah, so it's Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova. Also, do you guys get this on yours? When it pulls up Unova, it says Unova, Unilis, Unima. Yep. Is that actually is it not Unova in every language?
I'm assuming it must not be, because why else would they do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it did strike me as weird, and I'm like, what? Okay, because it's the only one that does that.
Kalos, Alola, Galar, etc. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee is a Gen 7 game in the sense that it's
Confirmed
using...
it is different names in different languages.
Okay. It's using the Gen 7
wild
engine. Meltan appeared in Pokemon Let's Go or Pokemon Go first. So there's another thing that happened. There's a video. There's a video of all the Pokemon. They show each generation. They show Kalos. They show Kanto in the order and stuff. And then when they say Kanto, it has all 151 Pokemon in it. And then when they say Johto, it has all 100 Pokemon on it. And so they do that. There's not an English video of it, but it's on the Japanese Pokemon YouTube. And I think there's a Korean one too. But it's just to get you hype for Pokemon Day. But in that video, Meltan and Melmetal are both listed among the Gen 8 Pokemon.
Okay, I saw some discussion of this on Twitter, and I immediately thought, what does it matter?
You're right.
What does it matter?
It doesn't.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter so much.
People clearly do.
In the sense, I guess it matters in the sense that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company know their Pokemon better than us. Ideally, you would hope. I guess you would think. And I don't think some intern made this video or some intern worked on. Not saying all interns are incompetent.
Yeah, what is this intern hate all of a sudden?
But I'm not if you were to look at the video, Melmetal is behind Berserker and Hatterene and Grimmsnarl, and Meltan is right next to Bolton. It's not it's these were placed in a way so everyone's face is showing, so it's not oh, we don't know where Meltan is going. I guess we forgot to put it in the Alola. Let's try to squeeze him into Galar. It's no, they somebody placed them here because that's where it's supposed to be. My assumption for the etc. is the only reason they have that is because somebody could argue, well, if Meltan is Gen 8, why can't I get it in Gen 8 yet? That would probably be the reason that they have the etc. there.
I mean, sure. It's weird that they did it that way. Just make another category. Because you're limiting that choice. Like, it's Galar and leftovers.
Well, the only leftover is Meltan Melmetal, right? Yeah, there's no other Pokemon sneaking into this Galar.
We have 2 coming.
2 coming?
Calyrex.
Oh, Calyrex
and
Wushu.
Like, we know they're here. They
That's true.
They could have put them in there, and they didn't.
And the arguments of, like, oh, well, it appeared in a Gen 7 game, so it has to be a Gen 7 Pokemon. Like, that's... Look, Munchlax was in those bad GameCube games before Diamond and Pearl came out. Munchlax was also in Pokemon Dash before Diamond and Pearl came out. Togepi was in the Gen 1 anime before the Gen 2 anime. What was it? Pichu was in the Pikachu short of the first Pokemon movie before they even got to a Gen 2 Pokemon movie. I mean, this is not a weird thing where they've introduced different generations of Pokemon early. Besides all that, I can't wait for everyone to be mad when Charizard wins Kanto.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not voting Charizard for Kanto, you're not doing it right.
But I was going to vote for Oddish.
I mean, I'm voting for Cubone, but...
See, this is the problem. We have to work together. We have to band together as a community and all vote for the same Pokemon. Otherwise,
Gen 2.
Charizard is going to win. No, we have to pick a Pokemon that at least has the likelihood to win, Greg.
Maybe if Charizard wins,
voting.
it deserves to win.
We can't vote third party here.
Yes, we can.
We have to
look,
suck it up and accept a
Johto is full of hot garbage except for Dunsparce. And
that's
since
not
Johto's
true.
on
Johto
its own,
has Quillfish. And it is the
Quillfish
year
is hot garbage.
It is the year of Quillfish.
No, it's the year of Dunsparce now. Vote Dunsparce. Vote Dunsparce. Vote Dunsparce. Vote Dunsparce.
All right. Who's winning Hoenn?
Sableye.
Yeah. Sableye's got to win Hoenn.
I feel like a bunch of legendaries are going to win.
Oh, they absolutely are. But see, kids have a short attention span these days, so it's up to us adults to vote every day because we have task calendars, we have phone reminders.
I wish it was only vote once because if you tell me I can vote every day, I'm out.
I've been voting every day. Dunsparce.
You've asked for too much. You think Piplup wins 4?
Okay, you people. We're just telling me about every day is fine for Animal Crossing, but you can't vote every day for the best Pokemon.
Okay, it's hard to vote every day because, like,
you are on your computer more than you are in Animal Crossing.
Okay, it's because it's hard to vote for something that you know is going to lose.
But if you vote every day, it's not going to lose because you have the tenacity to make it happen.
Look, I live in America. I know how democracy works. It's all rigged.
No, you don't. You went to Milwaukee Public Schools. You have the bare minimum of how society works.
Your knowledge of democracy only goes as far as the Civil War.
That's very true, yes. Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War is all I learned.
Abraham Lincoln Civil War is all you do. That's all they bothered to cover. But those of us who vote every day will outdo the 100 children who got access to mom and dad's Google account for 2 seconds to vote once. We can turn the tide.
Okay.
Vote once, vote often is my motto.
Isn't it? Wait, it shouldn't be vote once. It should be vote daily, vote often.
Well, vote once because you can only vote once in each category.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But do it a lot.
So out of the Gen 8 Pokemon, what do you think is the one that could possibly win?
Oh, Yamper.
Yeah,
No.
I keep voting for Bolton, but
I think I would either argue that Dreepy and Snom...
I still haven't seen a Dreepy, and if I haven't seen a Dreepy, then probably most people haven't seen a Dreepy.
No, I actually do think Dreepy or Snom have like the highest.
If you want to see a Dreepy, do Wonder Trade because people have been breeding that and sending out the rejects. for months now. I have so many Dreepy that I have thrown away from other people. I have at least 5 different foreign Dreepy if I ever want to breed a shiny.
Yeah.
I have Dreepy coming out of my ears.
Yeah, Dreepy is the Wonder Trade Pokemon.
I'm going to say that Scorbunny has a shot.
I think so too. I definitely think Scorbunny out of all the starters have a shot. I would even
think
argue
Bolton
that
should win, but it won't.
I also think that Cinderace has a shot over all the other starters as well.
Well, it's the line, right? So the line is going to win. That's what their big thing is if you vote for anything in the line, that line wins.
If all the, like, chain wallet wearers come out and vote for Toxtricity, I could maybe see that.
Like you back in the day.
No, I gave that up. I do think, though, that Snom has probably one of the highest chances.
Snom has a shot
of winning.
I do love Snom. I'm torn between voting for Snom and voting for Boltund, but I made my choice. I went with my Pokemon Masters pair. I go Boltund. You know what's not winning? All of the fossils. They have no shot.
Yeah, I don't think so. Speaking of Pokemon Masters, this is off Silicon Era. Pokemon Masters Professor Oak trailer teases his debut. I'm going to be full disclosure here. I am a partner. I'm partnered with DNA to help promote Pokemon Masters. I'm going to be very careful with
not pronounced Dina?
DNA? I don't know.
There's an E in there, though. It should be Dina.
I'll ask them next time.
Okay.
So I'm going to cautiously dance around this because there's a lot of rumors out there. And
there are, and I've seen them all.
Greg can speculate. Anything Greg says does not reflect me in my partnership. But I'll read it, and then I'll shut up, and then Greg can put their input of what they think the rumor is. When February first began, Pokemon Masters Oak appearance was teased. Now, his upcoming role in the game has been confirmed with a trailer. Rather than showing the sync pair in game, it's a live action video confirming Professor Oak is on the way. So right now, there's a Japanese video up. I'm assuming that we're gonna get an American video probably by the time this episode goes up. But if you haven't seen it, it's on the official Japanese Pokemon YouTube page, which that I am allowed to talk about as long as it's officially on DNA's Twitter or an official Pokemon source. That's fair game for me. So the Pokemon Masters Oak Sync Pair is going to be a free one on February 14th. He'll be doled out to users. His partner is not confirmed. We know about Professor Oak, obviously. I've watched the trailer multiple times. There are rumors of what people think Professor Oak's Pokemon is going to be. This article here says, again, this is the article talking, not me, it could be Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, because technically they're not in the game yet, but I will now pass it over to Greg, and I'm washing my hands free of what Greg thinks is rumors.
So, I saw upon the Reddits, because of Steve's influence, I know, unfortunately, sometimes have to go to Reddit, that people are claiming that there is a shadow of a specific mythical Pokemon related to Mewtwo, and they say the shadow is clearly there, and I have stared at this photo for hours, and I have no idea what they're talking about. However, that has not stopped everybody in the world saying they have seen Mew in the shadow and Professor Oak's partner will be Mew. I don't know what they're seeing. Sure, it could be. It could also be any of the starters except for Charizard, because we know Red is getting Charizard.
Specifically, probably Charizard X.
Yeah. I don't know. I have gone back and looked and looked and looked. I don't see it. All of you are free to go stare at this picture as much as I have. I have old eyes. Perhaps young eyes will see the shadow that I do not see. But the big rumor right now is it's Professor Oak and Mew because of this fuzzy shadow. Trailer is cool. Like, I do like the trailer.
Really cool. really, really impressed with it.
Yeah, the trailer is very cool. And there's a lot in this trailer. Like, there's a lot of things that point to a lot of things. They go past his table that has all the starters on it. So it could just be that, but like, even in the trailer, I am staring at this pillar that's supposed to have the shadow on it. Don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, either way, this comes out in a couple days.
Yeah, it'll be here soon.
Out of all sync pair, I've given DNA my feedback. I said I want Gen 8 trainers and Gen 8 Pokemon. But I never thought they would actually do Professor Oak. So the fact that just Professor Oak is coming, I think is really exciting. Like, I think that is a cool sync pair just in general, that like, oh, cool. Finally, in a Pokemon game, we can have Professor Oak and they're going to have some sort of Pokemon. That's cool. And I'm sure he'll probably do like, I'm sure there'll be the little voice sample thing, which is my favorite part of Mr. Yeah, the welcome. Wow. Good, nice shot.
Good job. I mean, Professor Oak already is in the game as Professor Oak's drag persona Agatha with Gengar. So,
gosh,
this is his alternate form. Look at the pictures and tell me I'm wrong.
Isn't the actual lore like they were rivals? Like, they went on a Pokemon journey together? I'm pretty sure that's the actual lore of those two.
Sure, that's what they wrote in the history books.
They knew each other, but it's just obviously that is the classic Pokemon cut and paste right there. It's just cut and paste the character model, put a wig on it, we're done.
It is cool that when they sent out that newsletter, I don't know if you guys get the Pokemon newsletters.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do. Will, are you? I feel like Will's the person that has like 800 unread emails.
I've got 26,000 unread emails.
There you go. That's what I thought.
When I get the Pokemon newsletter, I do look at it and then delete it pretty rapidly.
Okay, perfect. So that was sent on February 5th. It starts off with the Google Year of Pokemon, and then it says Pokemon Day. So they have Sword and Shield, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Center, and they actually have Pokemon Masters. So that's actually kind of cool to see whether or not you like Pokemon Go or you like Pokemon Masters or you like buying plushes from the Pokemon Center. This was a complaint that I've had year after year that they don't do enough for these days, especially because they have done stuff for Pokemon Go. But like last year, they could have just gave us a distribution and let's go. They could have just been like, here's a Machop that has a ribbon on it. And they didn't even do that. I don't know if we're getting a distribution for Sword and Shield specifically on that day. They did recently give a 20 battle point code at the start of season 3, which they've done every season of free 20 battle points. They did, as of when they released Toxtricity and GMAX Raid, there's a code out there right now that gives you 3 TRs for horsepower, which is a ground type move. Toxtricity is 4 times weak to ground. So stop using Earthquake in raids because it hits everyone. You have 3 Pokemon to teach horsepower. The big brain play here for Toxtricity is Togedemaru with Lightning Rod. Togedemaru is Steel and Electric. Can't get hurt by Electric because of Lightning Rod. Can't get hurt by Poison because it's Steel type. Teach it Zen Headbutt, which is super effective. You're good to go. Togedemaru is the big brain play. I guess you could bring a Mudsdale, but whatever's good for you. I think Togedemaru is pretty cute. So anyways, going back to the email, I think it's cool that it seems like they're focusing on multiple things here this year. So I guess I'm excited. But they announced some stuff for Pokemon Go for Pokemon Day. If February didn't have 1 million Pokemon Go events, there's another 50 coming. So we will cover that when we get back from our break. Also, Logan's here. Logan, when was the last time you were on?
Long time ago. The problem is that I'm very lonely. Oh boy.
Why are you always making people cry?
I don't know why.
Why are you always making people cry?
I don't know. The problem is that I'm very lonely.
Pokemon Go. Celebrate Pokemon Day 2020 with Pokemon Go. Did you know Pokemon Day happens every year on February 27th?
I did know that.
Did you?
Well, it didn't happen in 1992.
That's true. Did you
Dubious
know
facts.
that on PokemonGoLive.com, which is Niantic's Pokemon Go website, that they say Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back comes out on Netflix on February 27th? And to commemorate the movie release, Armored Mewtwo will be returning, accompanied with clone Pokemon seen in the movie.
Well, I already have an Armored Mewtwo, but how would you know that a Pokemon was cloned?
I can tell you.
Is this like a Pokéhacks kind of thing?
No, it's not PK Hex.
Okay.
From Tuesday, February 25th to Monday, March 2nd, some Pokemon are here to party. Keep a lookout for Pikachu and Eevee wearing party hats. They're
doing it for my birthday.
They will appear in the wild. Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle will be sporting the same festive look, but only hatching from 7K eggs. There's a chance that these party Pokemon could be shiny. Don't sound so excited.
Well, I took the day off for my birthday, so I will spend the entire day hunting for shiny party hat Pokemon. Does that enough excitement for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Now you have to tell Papa Niantic how many incubators you plan on buying.
None.
0.
And how much walking you plan on doing.
A heck of a lot.
Not only is Armored Mewtwo in Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, it will be returning to raids with a special charge attack, Psystrike. Remember clone Pokemon ?
No.
Well, some are coming to Pokemon Go in celebration of Pokemon Day and the launch of Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution on Netflix. Special clone Pokemon, including Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, will appear in 4-star raids. And if you use the Go Snapshot feature, a clone Pikachu might appear in your photo, and you will be able to catch it.
Okay, how do you know that a Pokemon's a clone Pokemon?
Okay, so they have the football lines under their eyes. They have if you watch the movie,
like they're tired.
Yeah, kind of. Did you not watch Pokemon. Mewtwo Strikes Back?
I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't remember the details of the animation.
Yeah, the clone Pokemon just had marks on them to show that they were cloned. So these Pokemon,
did they have camouflage design on them?
Yes. Somebody took a black stripe and put it across their head, and then they lowered the opacity on the black stripe so it blended in with their skin.
Not a particularly good clone.
Well, Mewtwo made the clones. What do you want from him? He was just born 3 days ago.
It's y'all were sitting in that warehouse trying to figure out how to get over here. I had to do something.
Then there will be some bonuses. Trainers will be able to do up to 2 special trades a day. Raid Pokemon. There will be a raid day on Sunday, March 1st. There will be raids featuring Nidorino and Gengar wearing hats. Nidorino
what kind of hats?
Oh, the party hat.
The party hat.
Nidorino will be wearing party hats in 2-star raids. Gengar will know Lick and Psychic and wear a party hat in 4-star raids. If you're lucky, you may encounter a shiny Nidorino or a shiny Gengar wearing a party hat. You can receive up to 5 raid passes for free at no cost by spinning photo discs at gyms. You cannot hold more than one of these at once. They are not available when the event ends. That will be Sunday, March 1st from 2 to 5 p.m. local time.
Well, now I want a party hat Gengar for my birthday.
And I believe, according to Eurogamer, when they talked to Niantic did say that the party hat Pikachu party hat I think evolves, but the party hat Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur cannot evolve, and the party hat Nidorino also cannot evolve. And I do not think clone Pikachu can evolve. But I don't remember that one for sure. I get that people are tired of hats. I understand.
I'm not tired of hats. I'd rather have hats than shinies.
Hats.
The big question is, can these hat Pokemon be transferred outside of Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home when Pokemon Home... I can't even say when Pokemon Home arrives because Pokemon Go will not work with Pokemon Home when it arrives. I like hats because it's another thing to collect, so it gets me to go out. I want the Pokemon with the hat. I get it. I am real tired of these 7K eggs they're doing. It's like everything is restricted to eggs, I feel like. Hey, you want Wurmple with a party hat? 7K egg. Hey, you want Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle? 7K egg. You want any of this, like it's a Sinnoh event, but you want the shiny Riolu that we're putting out? 7K egg. You want Daramaka? 7K egg.
I mean, I hatch a 7K egg every day, so sometimes 2. So what's the worry? You want them in 10K eggs?
No, I just don't want them in eggs. I do not hatch. I mean, to be fair, I do not hatch a 7K egg every day. But to like trivialize something as I would love to walk around and find a Bulbasaur and a Charmander and a Squirtle and have one of each. But then to say like, oh, you need to walk 7K, which is a lot, I feel like for a person to get the Bulbasaur, the Charmander, and the Squirtle in a party hat, which I will literally do nothing with except say I have a Charmander in a Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle in a party hat in my inventory.
The Funkos of the Pokemon world, you're saying.
The Funkos of the Pokemon world. But I have to leave that to random chance, and what's going to happen is I'm going to hatch like 14 Bulbasaur and not hatch a Charmander or a Squirtle, and I will be pressured because the event ends into buying incubators so I can hatch eggs faster.
I'll choose my Charmander.
It's just the mindset, too, of like, okay, I'm going to go out there and hatch a 7K egg. But what if I bought an incubator or a couple incubators and I hatched 5 7K eggs at once? Instead of walking 45 kilometers, I only have to walk 7 kilometers and I get the results of 5. Like, I understand that this is their money-making tactic, but that doesn't, at this point, I don't even care. What is a Bulbasaur with a party hat going to do for me? Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Like, I could just trade it, or I'll wait till the next party hat event where they put in the wild and then put something else with a hat on.
You're coming to my side. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Don't do the
like
next community day.
You could maybe argue that, like, well, they're giving you Eevee with a party hat that's in the wild. Yeah, sure, I guess. But what if they just put more things in the wild?
Then everybody would get them and they wouldn't make money.
Yeah, you're right. They would make money. There has to be a threshold of people who are like me, who are very passionate about Pokemon Go, who play a lot of Pokemon Go, who have no problem giving money to Pokemon Go. But at a certain point, they're going to hit a threshold of these events are too many, too often, and super money grabby in the sense of...
You vastly underestimate people's ability to... where their threshold is.
I mean, I think we've already passed that, right? Like...
Have we? Am I late to this? Should I have?
No. There are still plenty of people out there where Pokemon Go is their one thing, and they will pour their money into that.
I get that. And I'm sure those people read the article, and they're like, oh, man, I can get a shiny Squirtle in a party hat out of 7K egg. You better believe I'm spending $40 on an incubator. I'm sure that person exists. I'm sure they won't stop until they get all 3 and 7. I'm sure they won't stop until they get them all. I get it.
Until they get them all with perfect IVs, EVs, CVs,
I think
whatever
the
they're
amount
called.
of people where you fall is very small. I think that I don't care about this anymore line separated a very long time ago.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are the people where they are all in. It's Pokemon Go. They set aside 10% of their income every month for Pokemon Go. And then there's people like me and Greg who are like, well, it's a community day and I'd like that, uncooked cookie dough at the Mall of America. So might as well get on the light rail and head down there.
I remember the time where they... boy. So I specifically remember the Poochie, it was what, 2 years ago? It was the year of the dog, because last year was year of the pig. I think sorry, I'm really bad
Something.
at
I'm not
they released
Chinese
shiny
Zodiac or-
Poochyena, and I remember that was kind of when they started doing a little bit more shinies, specifically around these events. So they would be like, okay, I think it was, because I think that was the time they did shiny Party Hat Pikachu, and I was like, oh, I really want a shiny Party Hat Pikachu, because that was like the first time they did it, and I went out every single night with my friend Micah, and we would go downtown, and if it was nice out, we would get out of the car and walk. But for the most part, if it was cold, we would just drive to a Pokestop, pull over, stop, spin, check Pikachu. Okay, drive to the next one. And it was like 2 a.m. when we were doing this, so there was like little to no traffic, so it was really easy to park, back up, go again. And that night I got, after like 4 days of doing this every night, I got 2 shiny Party Hat Pikachus. And then when we went out for the Poochyena stuff, I got the Poochyena. And then I remember when they did another Pikachu, and then I went out every night and I got it. And then I think the last time I did that was the Black Hat Pikachu, where it was in that special black hat, and I was really excited. And then they started doing them faster, of like, oh, now we're rolling out shiny Pokemon faster as content. And then I think the one I missed, but I did go out every night, was like the shiny Witch Hat Pikachu or whatever. But that was like the point to me where I was like, they're doing shiny, they're like treating shinies as new content, and they're doing one every week or one every other week because they need a reason for players to go out, because there's nothing new to catch, which is a big thing in Pokemon Go, right? To catch Pokemon. And I just can't keep up with this. Like, it's not fun to go out every single night and check 400 plus Pokemon and then be relieved that, like, okay, cool, I got it on Wednesday night, so I don't have to go out Thursday and Friday night. Like, I get that's like a personal thing of like, I need to go out, but like I did genuinely enjoy going out to collect things until it became overwhelming. And now I feel like these party hats, not only are they restricted with 7K egg stuff, I feel like now that is to the point where it's overwhelming to like what I did with shinies of like, you know what? I don't really care anymore. There's so many shinies available in the game that eventually I'll stumble upon them because I play the game enough, and there's other games to get shinies in. Like, I don't need to go get another shiny Poochyena. I can just hunt for it in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. But these hats are ridiculous in the sense of,
Yes.
just let me find it in the wild and catch it and be like, okay, I remember 2020 Pokemon Day. I went out, I found a Charmander in a party hat, I caught it. No one else cares about this. Somebody's gonna hatch like 8 of them, I'm sure, and be very salty that they didn't hatch the other one, and they're gonna trade the other 7 away, and they're gonna have one of each. They're not competitive. They're not really worth anything. They'll come around the next year, I'm sure. But the fact, oh my god, I'm just
just let it go.
The egg stuff is infuriating. I don't even care about the raid stuff, because like if I can go out Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. I'll spend a day looking for a Venusaur. I'll do that raid with Irene. We'll both get a Venusaur for free. Go out the next day, get the Charizard. Go out the next day, get the Blastoise. Like, I do not mind dedicating 20 to 30 minutes to be like, let's find a Venusaur raid. Let's do the Venusaur raid. Heck, I'll even spend the $1 if it's right there. If a Charizard and Venusaur next to it, heck, let me just spend the $1. But I don't mind dedicating that 20, 30 minutes to do it. To tell me like, hey, hatch a 7K egg, which probably takes, I don't know, how long does it take to walk 7K? Like 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes if you're power walking. I would probably
you
say
could get one of those. What are those things? The 2-wheel things that people stand on?
Hoverboards?
Segways?
No, Segway. Get a Segway. They can't tell that that's not walking.
I think as long as it's under 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Isn't that just called a bike? Could you just get on a bike that's like way cheaper than a Segway?
No, bikes will go faster than 10 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, but they don't have to. I mean, if you don't pedal a lot.
Well, but then you also have to pedal
coast.
them. The genius of the Segway is you don't have to do anything.
You gotta lean.
Look, if leaning is hard for you, you got bigger problems than hats on Pokemon, okay?
But I'm using my free incubator. When I go to the mall, I make it an effort to hatch a 5K egg, which is probably anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes of walking, maybe, and I feel like I'm a relatively fast walker.
I know, you always walk in front of everybody. You never wait for anybody.
That's right. I got places to be, Will. It's just frustrating. It doesn't you want events to be fun. And when I read all of this, nothing about this sounds fun.
It's only frustrating because you care.
I do care because I want to go out and have fun. I don't want to be like, oh man, Wurmple ends in 2 days and I don't have a Wurmple yet. Should I just, this incubator box is only $4, but that's exactly what they want you to think.
Have you tried bowling?
Nah.
Possibly darts?
Nah.
Bowling's a great way to go out and have fun with your friends. Greg, let's go bowling sometime next week.
Oh, yeah. There's
Sounds
a couple good bowling places.
Question of the week.
Now's when we ask it. The question of the week from the Addict channel in Slack.
That is the second Muppets reference I have listened to in the past 2 days. What is going on with the universe right now?
Muppets are back. Baby!
Muppets never went away, friend.
I'm pulling a question from last week because we had good questions last week. This is from Casey in our Attic channel with Dragalgia Lost. I don't even know how to say that. I'm sorry. Dragalia Lost? Dragalia.
More called like bank account lost.
I have not spent any money. I spent $10.
Doing a crossover event with Monster Hunter. Do you think that Pokemon Masters could do a crossover event like this, or does Pokemon doing crossovers with other games like Dragalgia Lost?
Dragalgi Lost.
Is a bad Pokemon. That's not winning Pokemon 2020.
That is not a bad Pokemon. It is getting all my votes now.
The reason that Dragalia Lost can do it is because they have their own universe. And you can pull in other monsters and just say, hey, these monsters are dragons, and you can bond with them, which is what the Monster Hunter thing is, and it's been super fun. I think Pokemon has, especially like Masters, since it's so focused on specific sync pairs, that you can't really pull, they could maybe do it with Temtem, because Temtem has the same partner system.
That'll
but
never
there's not a lot that matches up. Like Masters is specific that this is this person and this is their Pokemon, and that doesn't exist. Now, Pokemon could branch out to other, like I would Dragalia Lost and Pokemon crossover would be great, because you could do that. And it wouldn't affect the Dragalia Lost universe at all. But I don't think there's an IP out there that could go into the Pokemon universe that fits that universe.
Has Pokemon ever done any crossovers?
They've crossed over game styles, like Conquest.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a
crossover.
That's not a crossover, though, yeah.
But, it was in the Pokemon universe with Pokemon and not in, what the regular game is. I forget what Conquest was based on.
I feel like the closest thing that Masters could do is taking a character that, they could do Ash and Greninja.
Yeah.
Which would probably be a little bit more outside what they've been doing with main series game characters. They could do Martin and Solrock if they really wanted to, which I think would be cute, and I think fans would appreciate that.
Yeah, but they're still pulling from Pokemon properties.
Right, yeah. That's
there's no... we just left the Mega Man event where we all got Mega Man in Dragalia Lost because the universe there is wild. But, you couldn't do, here's Mega Man and his Pokemon partner Rush. That doesn't work.
It's not that the Dragalia Lost universe is wild. It's that Dragalia Lost has a agreement with Capcom.
Well, true. They do. But, it works in that universe, right? They've created a universe that allows for it. Because, it's not so tightly encapsulated. Are there things that I would like to see? Yeah, I would like to see Masters branch out and bring other wild games in. There's a lot of games exist out there where you have an animal partner that could come in. I think it would just feel incredibly strange given how tight they are with that universe.
I wouldn't need other stuff in Masters, but I would like to see Pokemon stuff in other games. I think the Yokai Watch event in Final Fantasy was
fun.
Super fun. And it was cool as I didn't even like Yokai Watch And even after playing Yokai Watch, I didn't really like it. But it was cool to get like little yokai to follow you in Final Fantasy, or to get Monster Hunter things to follow you in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because as a Final Fantasy fan, hey, guess what? I also like other games, and I'm able to kind of sport and show that off in that world, which is cool. Nintendo Badge Arcade. That was a crossover. There you go. They could, the rabbit could come back, and then the rabbit could have a crane sync pair.
But you hate the 3DS, so...
Look, the only people that like the 3DS now are people who can't afford the Switch. They need a...
Excuse me, I love my 3DS. I play my 3DS every day.
Are you playing Picross? Are you playing Shuffle? What are you playing?
Ultra Moon?
You're not
Pokemon
playing Ultra
Moon.
Moon every day.
I hatch 6 eggs a
Absolutely.
day. I am growing
Absolutely is.
berries. I play that
have
game every
the
day.
video proof.
Look, you can't talk
Sent
to
to
me
my phone.
unless you have your curry decks complete.
I've made 3
You
curries.
just completed it.
Yeah,
I saw you like with all your. I don't know why this isn't Charizard class. I did the berry points, and I got that many points, and I compared it to the other points. I'm like, please, if I want to have that much drama, I'll do calculus.
Look, some of us are trying to figure out things in the game.
I can't even stir the pot. I can't even. And the flame fanning, I thought you were supposed to fan them slow so you didn't actually put the fire out. And you're supposed to fan them fast?
Well, you're supposed to fan it fast so it gets big, and then you fan it slow because you don't want it to get bigger so it burns.
Once again.
As a real-life chef, Will, I can relate to
Since when?
the cooking of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yes, please tell me about your extraordinary meal called McDonald's. What is this quarter-pound burger that you've presented to me?
He cooks pizza bites from the freezer.
Oh, true.
Pizza rolls, thank you very much.
Pizza rolls.
May I present the pizza rolls?
No, I had a lot of fun completing the curry decks. I think it's really fun. Look, Will,
I will probably do the same. It's the closest thing I have to berry farming. So
when next time we're together, I'll bust out my Switch and we'll cook locally together. We'll cook. We'll fan the
I'm
fire.
Down for that.
We'll fan the fire as a group.
I mean, that's fine with me.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Game crossovers. That's what it's going to be. I was going to say they're going to have curry cooking in Pokémon Masters, but that's not a crossover.
Will, what was our Pokemon of the week?
Well, your clues from last week, I referenced the podcast Dewy Dudes. I talked about applying moisturizers so that you can create a protective bubble around your face. And whether you should use SPF in your moisturizer because it halves the damage of exposure to the fiery sun, and doubles moisturizing effectiveness for your skin. And I also referenced that there may be an alternative to Botox that is being developed from spider venom, and that you should really start with an intensive skincare routine at least before you turn to age 22. That's more than enough clues.
Yep, I got it.
All right.
It's
Chimchar.
Chimchar. You're correct. Chimchar has a protective bubble around its face.
It's Dupiter.
Dupiter. Yes, it is Dupiter.
It can be seen, this is off Bulbapedia, can be seen as the counterpart to Surskit. Both share water bug. Both have the same base stat total of 269. Nice. Both evolve at the same level. Both can be found at Brookfield Hill in Sudden. I actually didn't know this trivia. I didn't know they both have the same base stat and evolved at the same level. Both can be found in Brookfield Hill in Pokemon Sun and Moon, taking place of each other on time. Dupiter found during the day, and Surskit at night.
Nice.
All right, you ready for this week's?
Nope, but go ahead.
This week's one, it has a title, and the title is called Number 5 Will Shock You. 10.
Already shocked.
10. A signature ability is an ability that only one Pokemon has in a Pokemon game. A unique situation has now occurred because of the limited Galarian Pokédex that Pokemon abilities that used to not be signature have become signature. For example, Trace can now only be had by the Gardevoir line, and Drizzle can only be had by Pelipper. 9. Psychic-type Pokemon have special attack as their highest stat on average and HP as their lowest stat on average. 8. Pancakes are an incredibly old dish. Some consider them to be earliest and most widespread cereal food eaten in prehistoric societies. 7. The Wailana Coffee House and Cocktail Lounge, a staple restaurant in downtown Waikiki, closed on September 30th, 2018. Their breakfast special, available 24 hours a day, included all the pancakes you could eat, 2 eggs, and 2 strips of bacon. If they were still open, I would recommend trying their coconut syrup. 6. There is a statue of Duke Kahanamoku on Waikiki Beach. He is widely considered the father of modern surfing. 5. The move Electric Terrain has the following effects. A. It creates an electric terrain that lasts for 5 turns. B. It performs the following actions on Pokemon that are touching the ground. 1. They cannot be put to sleep or fall asleep from rest. 2. Electric-type moves receive a 30% power boost. C. One Pokemon species will have its speed doubled due to its signature ability. D. If holding an electric seed, its defense will increase by 1 stage. 4. Some Pokemon only learn 1 new move when they evolve and do not learn any other new moves after evolving. They either must be learned prior to evolving, via the Move Rememberer, or through TM, HM, or TR. 3. Electric-type Pokemon have special attack as their highest stat on average and HP as their lowest stat on average. 2. There are 6 Pokemon species known as the Mouse Pokemon. 1. Oh, this week's Pokemon will only be available in Galar when Pokemon HOME comes out. There you go. It's a listicle.
My favorite.
Number 5 will shock you.
Yeah, I was shocked.
We've been putting the podcast episodes up on YouTube every Monday. So if you've made it to the end of this, you probably weren't listening. Maybe you were listening on YouTube. I don't know. But it's just another way. For whatever reason, if you have a friend who has never listened to podcasts and it's just easier to share the YouTube link, there you go. This is a huge discovery, I guess, that getting somebody to download a YouTube podcast app and then subscribe to a podcast is a lot of work, and maybe the YouTube is easy for those new people, and then maybe once they like the show and they realize that they want to continue listening, then they get the podcast app. It's like a stepping stone. It's like we're putting training wheels on the show for people who might not just, know what a podcast is.
I mean, they're out there.
Episodes have been going up on YouTube. If that's, maybe your podcast app is blocked at YouTube, at work, and you got to use YouTube. Other YouTube content is going up, so I stream pretty much every night on Twitch for 6 hours. That's a lot of content. Sometimes nothing exciting happens in those 6 hours, or it's hard to find the exciting part. Depends on how many eggs I'm hatching. But every Wednesday and every Friday on YouTube, there will be new content going up. I have content planned actually for the next 3 weeks out for YouTube, which is awesome. So, and they're cut and edited, and they're a little bit more produced than just taking 10 minutes and plopping it on YouTube. So I think they're worth watching. I think they're funny. I think, if you're needing some other stuff, YouTube is the same. Twitter is the same. Twitch is the same. Just PKMNcast. So pretty easy, for all that. Will is at Wash in the Sink. Greg is at White Wing. I'm at Dragging a Lake. I think that's it. I think that's all we got. YouTube, Twitter. What was the last one? Twitch. I should probably remember my own social medias.
Instagram.
Instagram is also PKMNcast. Yeah, that's true. I got some good Instagram. Some people were really, really happy / want to know more about the marking stuff that I did, like marking shinies as stars, marking EV trained as hearts, marking event Pokemon as circles. That will actually be the YouTube video for Wednesday. It's almost done. There will be a graphic with that as well. I've been making those graphics I've been putting on Instagram and Twitter. So there'll be a graphic of the markings I use personally. You can customize it to what you want, but and then there will be a video explanation because I did explain it on stream and we cut it out to make it a little bit easier to follow with pictures going along. So if you want to get into marking, especially with Pokemon Home coming out, and you want to be able to find your event Pokemon easier, or your shiny Pokemon easier, that will be Wednesday's video. And then if you missed last Wednesday's video, that was my cult story from when I went to Japan and traded Pokemon with a girl in Pokemon Go, and then she tried to get me to join her temple. So that is all on YouTube as well, that I normally told during stream. But yeah, it's look, there's not enough time in the day to tell that story on a podcast. That would be its
there is not.
Entire podcast. So if you want to hear the cult story, that's on the YouTube page as well. That's all I got. It's been a heck of the show. I think we actually got to 90 minutes this week, so we will see you guys next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super click that like button and subscribe.
Oh, you got to hit the bell, too, so you get notifications.
Oh, hit the bell. Hit that bell. The bell's newish. I
Not
remember
that new.
YouTube from a long time ago. And I don't use it much.
Yeah, before Google bought it.
Yeah, when it was good.
This podcast is supported by our Patreon backers, and some of those people paid money to get their name read at the end of this show, starting with our producers Liam, Casey, Noah, Patrick, Jetsy, Alex, Matthew, Kay, Courtney, Catherine, Jeffrey, Sejanus, Kevin, and our executive producers of Anthony and Pancakes. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast as well, you can go over to patreon.com/itssupereffective, or you can head over to the easier to remember domain, ise.cash. Literally, ise.cash. Super easy to remember because money exchanges hands, and ISC is short for the podcast. Also, shout out to Nick, who does all the music for the show. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. This was new. Hey, it was different. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for supporting the show and listening. Really, really, truly appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.